And good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tuning in tonight, right now, the morning, whatever your corresponding time happens to be. We're back with game 2 of our coverage versus, I think this is still Buffalo. I think in this game, if I remember correctly, I don't really feel the need to talk too much at the beginning because he is wise as to what my team actually does, why my Kabutops is there, how big of a threat Mega Man Electric is to him, what Tornadus is capable of, and more importantly, what I am willing to risk when it comes to Football and throwing him into the line of duty, because in the rain, he doesn't really care about a lot of stuff, and I'm just very whatever about Football. But we do have some twists and turns going on in this one, so make sure you pay attention to the score. It gets pretty interesting. So he's going to let off with Rotom, and I'm going to go ahead and lead off with Politoed this time. I believe I didn't. If I did do, I don't think I did do that right off the bat. I think I let off with something else entirely. I think I let off with Tornadus, that sounds about right. That way I could U-turn into it. But I'm actually going to go out into Football once again, and it turns out that he Volt Switches again. Why do people do this? Do people not know that Manectric has Lightning Rod, or is it just very aggressive playing? I will probably never know the answer to that, whether or not he just, if he didn't know, or he didn't care, or he knew that I wouldn't care, or he thought that I thought that I would overthink it. You know, there's so many layers behind that question, and yeah. Anyways, going back to the situation on hand, I'm not special defensive, which is why an overheat, even in the rain, even off of an air balloon Infernape, is actually going to knock me out clean. There was no chance of me living that. I was not expecting that. I was expecting a close combat, or maybe, you know, just not overheat. So I don't get rocks up this game. Very important to keep that in mind for Gengar later, because that's actually going to set me back a few turns trying to break the sash on it and trying to stay alive some more. So I'm going to go ahead and go for a Hurricane here because, you know, why the hell not? I might as well. I get the confusion off on the Hurricane, which you're probably thinking, wow, that's happened to you twice. Keep in mind, Hurricane has the same confusion rate as Scald does Burn. If you want to get a burn with something, you use Scald over Surf because it's reliable. Same reason you're dropping Hurricanes in the rain and banking on yourself getting confusion, because it's reliable. It's 100% accurate. It's got really good base power, and you might as well go for it. So I'm actually going to go out into Manectric right now, expecting his Volt Switch right here, and I think he goes for a Hydro Pump and actually misses. So, oh my god, that was me trying to predict him going off of turn 1, and he just didn't do the thing I thought he was going to do. This turn pissed me off for a couple reasons. So, first one being, I know he's probably just a regular physical defensive Rotom Wash. If he does have a little bit of special defense, god damn it, he snaps out of confusion. I don't take him out, and he actually just knocks me out from full with a Hydro Pump because it's rain boosted. So I probably lost my win condition right there to that very, very low roll, and that sets me back about 5 steps back farther than I really need to be in this game. So I go for Hurricane here, get my useless crit a turn later. Where was that before? I don't like messing around with rolls like that. I think the rain's probably due to wear off pretty soon as well. I know I'm a little bit naturally faster than this thing, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for a free U-turn. I did not have knockoff on this thing at the time. I would have gone for it if I did, for sure, because look at how much U-turn does. A Life Orb knockoff would have just cleaned this thing out. But I think I had an HP Ice at the time, and then I switched it up in a later round for knockoff, which kind of helps out a little bit. And then I'm realizing that after Football's dead and Manectric is dead, everything just dies to electric type moves, so I have to figure out something to sack. I mistakenly pick Kabutops. I'm not sure whether or not that was the smartest play. I did not have, you know, 10 minutes to think about that decision. I only had 90 seconds. I took probably around 75 of them thinking what was going to die to a Starmie's Thunderbolt, and it ultimately ended up being Kabutops because I think Tornadus is a little bit better equipped to handle Skarmory, and I think I'll just favor special attackers more in general, especially against Mamoswine. Or no, Mamoswine was a different game. What the hell was I thinking? I'm sorry. Against just Skarmory in general, I guess? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and go back into Politoed, get the rain back up, and, you know, just fire off the Scald, see what we can do from there, where we can go from there. If anything, I at least have the rain working for me, and that I get to weaken the Charizard's Flare Blitz. But I also do not manage to take him out with the Scald. I don't get a burn to clean him off. but he does die to recoil. It would have been nice if I did get a burn there, because I did not need to take that extra 25% of damage. I'm actually very, what's the word I'm looking for? Or what's the string of thoughts I'm looking for? I didn't want to take that damage because I don't know whether or not I'm going to be able to live with T-Bolt after that. And it turns out I do. It's a fairly cushy amount. But I don't get a lot of rock switch-ins now. I get one more just because of that extremely close roll on Skarmory? Yeah, it was Skarmory. So RNG's just not being too kind on this one, but that's fine. Right here, I do, between letting this thing get set up for free and keeping my weather for the, what is it? Between not having weather for the rest of the game and letting this thing set up for free, you know, those two sides of the scale, however the phrasing goes on them, I'm going to risk staying in here and going for a Perish Song, because I ain't fucking around with this thing. This thing is scary. This thing is a threat. If he wants to do something with it, you know, he's only going to have technically 2 turns to do that with, because you best believe I'm going to go for Perish Song and Protect. I have not showed him Protect. Now that he knows I have Protect, though, he's probably going to play a little bit differently around it in Game 3 is my mindset, so I have to be careful with Perish Songing. I don't like to reveal it unless I desperately need to, but that was definitely a desperate situation. So I'm going to, I guess, sack Keldeo, especially because at +1, and it turns out I actually live it on 2, so he has to pick something right now, because if he Dragon Claws me and takes me out, it's not a fair trade-off for him, and he picks his Infernape to die, which I'm pretty okay with that. Keldeo's just going to go for Scald. I'm not messing around with any of that. It's rain boosted. I've been so scared of going for Hydro Pump this entire tournament. I've heard like horror stories of people losing because Hydro Pump missed, and I just didn't like messing around with it. So Gengar outspeeds me by 2 base speed and is able to just clean out my remaining, you know, 2 HP. That's fine. He's in for free. So the one thing I knew here is that the only reason I took him out was because of the fact that I had Stealth Rocks, I was able to knock him out clean with a Hurricane. But because at full HP, I figure I'm going to want a little bit of chip damage, and look at that. That's around as much Stealth Rock does anyway. I'm going to come back in with a Hurricane, just do the thing. But yeah, so going back into Politoed to try to get the weather back up again, and I'm actually able to live the Stealth Rock switch in on 2 HP. Die to a Thunderbolt, and then my game plan from here is hopefully confuse the Charizard so it hits itself, does not get a DD up, and does not sweep me from here, so that way we don't have to go into a Game 3 here. And on top of that, he gets another useless crit right there. So useless crits, a little bit of a haxier game on this one. But you know what, that stuff is bound to happen. I think there was a game later where I missed 3 Hurricanes in a row because I was forced in a scenario where I had to use Hurricane outside of the rain. It happens, you know, 70 accuracy kind of sucks, but what can you do? So, it's 1v1 right now, in case we weren't keeping track at home, kids. I got Charizard in here, and I did not get Rocks up because of that overheat. And wouldn't you know it, Rocks definitely would have helped there. I don't get the confusion. He gets a Dragon Dance up for free, and he is able to knock me out with a Dragon Claw, meaning that is the end of Game 2. He takes that one. So I definitely got to put on my best poker face for Game 3, realize that I need a little bit more damage on Rotom Wash before I try to knock it out with Manectric. Try to keep Manectric as safe as possible, and above all, try to force the Starmie out, because that's his fast electric coverage, and it turns out that even that's enough, you know, to threaten my entire team. So, lessons to carry into tomorrow's video. As always, guys, if you're enjoying it, make sure you leave a like rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing, and I will see you guys on the next one later.